I'm Madhumita, and I am leading the enterprise IT user experience team in Honeywell for India. And my group works on making sure that IT keeps Honeywell running smoothly, efficiently. We focus on IT systems, IT services, IT solutions, and ensure that our Honeywell employees are informed and productive.
And my name is Suman Bhaskara. I'm the UX manager at Honeywell Aerospace. So my team is responsible for the cockpit panels and navigation systems for the pilot, the planning, the aircraft planning, and then the tracking systems for the ATC personnel. And we also do a wide variety of products and services just for the maintenance of the aircraft. Okay? So with that, let's get started. Switch it on. Not working. Turn it on. Whenever somebody told me about artificial intelligence, the first thing that came to my mind was the movies. So let's talk about movies and have some fun. It's just after lunch, right? You want? Has anybody watched this movie, AI? It's 2001. Yeah, the little robot boy and his robotic teddy bear. He loved his human mother dearly. Bicentennial Man, quick show of hands. Robin Williams, 200 years to become human. What about Her and Blade Runner? Yeah, I watched it on the flight. Both of them had AI girlfriends. And in Blade Runner, well, his heart was so broken when his AI girlfriend was deleted. I'd like to have a friend, right? Like the android bartender. He was so cute in the Passengers movie. Last but not the least, Entiran guys, the robo. Who are Rajnikant fans here? I believe there's a part 2 movie coming. And they told me it's November. Let's wait. So something common across all of these movies is there is a need, right? So there is a need for a human being to create a machine that can think like us and that can feel like us. It also feels great to automate everything on the home front, right? So on the home front, what if everything was so seamless? What if I had an AI assistant that did all my chores seamlessly? Do that, do this. But let's watch this funny video.
Calendar. No meetings today. Remember, tandläkare at 9:30.
Fire off.
Fire off.
Open door.
Door open. Så ska vi sätta en till.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
Open door.
Wrong voice command.
It is not coming. It's okay.
Open
It's okay.
door.
Repeat that.
Open door.
I didn't understand that.
Hey! Open door!
Play on the floor.
Get on the floor! Open the door!
Wrong voice command. Error.
Hej igen! Går det bra? Open door. Open door. Open door! Fire!
Higher volume.
Fire!
With the advent of any new technology, right, emergent tech like AI, it can have its own pitfalls. If it's not thought through properly, if it's not thought through completely, then it could be something like this. So throughout the presentation, Madhu and I will aim to share our experiences on how we went about. Where do you start from? What are the considerations that you have to think through? Before that, Madhu wants to share a few things about industry leaders.
So in the industry, there are two sections of people. There is one section which says great things are going to come with artificial intelligence, and then there's a set who says it's going to destroy mankind. So to Elon Musk, it is comparable to nuclear weapons. To Stephen Hawking, it is fine as of today in its nascent form and it can help, but as and when we add more intelligence, it could be a threat to the humankind. On the other hand, we have the Sundar Pichais and the Satya Nadellas who are saying that artificial intelligence is the way to go. Of course, Sundar Pichai is comparing artificial intelligence with fire. We know fire can be destructive, but if we can tame it and use it to our own good, it can create profound results. And that's what Satya Nadella also talks about. They are talking about applying ethics and strict guidelines so that they can focus on relevant problems which will empower human beings and improve our society and economy. So both the sides are there. Let's not get into which side we are in or which side there. But before we move on, I would like to explain what artificial intelligence, but I'm not an expert in this field. I'm a designer, and for me, I need to make things simple. So what I did was, I'm going to share with you how I understood artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and you can say whether it makes sense or not. If you want to add something to it, feel free to it. To me, artificial intelligence makes machines intelligent and work independently. As simple as that. Okay? Now, there are many ways of doing artificial intelligence. If the machines are using data to learn and adjust with the inputs, that's the world of machine learning. Okay? For example, if I teach my machine that these are the pictures of my friends and these are their names, next time when I upload a party picture, then the machine is able to recognize who these people are who joined my party. Very similar to Facebook tagging, right? That's machine learning for me. Now, our human brains, very sophisticated. It works with a lot of neurons. If you want to replicate how the neurons work and we want to create a network around it, that's the world of neural networks. And when we try to use it to solve very complex problems, okay, to replicate how humans think, that's the world of deep learning for me. For example, IBM Watson. Okay? No fancy, no technical terms, but this is how I understood what these different items are. Now, whether we like it or not, whether we agree, whether it is our friend or not, AI is already all around us. Okay? In our day-to-day lives, you will see examples that AI is playing a very integrated role in how you are performing your tasks. Suman showed some of her favorite movies. I also have some favorite stories to share with you today, and we'll just discuss, what I fancy and then what is there today. So let's do. This, I don't know if anybody recognizes it, is KIT. KIT is a self-driving, smart, humored car which helps this night rider solve a lot of investigations. Okay? So Suman, do you have something equivalent of this?
Of course, yes. I think I have Tesla, self-driving car. If I could cross the Silk Boat traffic every day with that, that would be a godsend for me.
Well, I don't know if I would keep Tesla and KIT at the same level. KIT is much smarter, for those all of you who know. The next one, okay? Anybody recognize this? Star Trek. Universal translator. Yes, yes, good. It can translate language of every aliens. Can you beat this?
Yes, I think today I have Google Translate, without which I will not be able to teach Hindi or Spanish to my daughter at all.
Well, yes, sometimes even I am referring to Google Translate to help me with some of my Bengali words. I'm a Bengali, but I'm speaking so much of English, sometimes I'm running out of my own vocabulary. Okay, I give you this. This is pretty neat. Last one. Our favorite droid, okay, who's a walking, talking encyclopedia, knows every form of communication, and is super cool with human beings. How about this?
I think I have IBM Watson, right, because it won the $1 million prize for Jeopardy quiz, and it beat 2 top Jeopardy players. With that, I think I can use it for Kaun Banega Crorepati. How's that?
I don't know how Amitabh Bachchan will refer Computer G. You know, that's what, maybe IBM Watson will be Computer G. Well, this is reality. What was fiction earlier is today a reality. Okay, a lot of these are happening in our daily lives. But what does it mean for us as human beings? Now, if you take care of your coffee cup, it's very dear to you, right? You have fond memories of your own coffee cup. You're pretty protective about it, but it is still it, right? But think about Siri. Siri is a girlfriend. Siri, you consider Siri as a friend, right? Or Alexa is my daughter's a very good friend because she can sing lullabies and she can do a lot of her homework also, okay? Or, you know, I can say, order pizza for me on a day when I really don't feel like cooking. So now, we're talking about intelligent machines, and there is a humanization happening. No longer we refer this machine as it, but we are talking about a she. We are connecting, okay? And interestingly, UX India topic is humanizing experience, and today we're going to talk about how to humanize experience, okay? Now, when we were discussing, you know, Suman is in a different department, I'm in a different department, and we were just generally brainstorming as to what does it mean, okay, we understood what does it mean for our lives, but what does it mean to us as designers? And what came to our mind is the UX and AI convergence, okay? So I'm going to put a riddle to you. We are thinking in 2 ways UX and AI converges. There is UX for AI and AI for UX. Sounds like a riddle? Let me explain. UX for AI. Now, there can be a lot of AI-driven products where there is no human being required. Think of weather modeling. There are satellites, data is coming, you're doing weather modeling, it's completely fine. It's a completely AI-driven product. However, if we want to make sure that it is consumable in a weather.com, user experience needs to be crafted so that it becomes consumable for our human beings, right? So here, there is an AI-driven world, and UX is playing a part of it when it comes to consumption. Suman will talk about the other side of the story.
To the Google.
Oh, okay. So before we move on to that, I have a very interesting example of how UX for AI works. So when Google came to India, they introduced the driving direction like they would do in a Western world. In the Western world, the streets are very well marked and named. In India, the street names are hardly there, and when they are there, they change depending upon who is the ruling party, right? Well, so then they did the user research to find out how does Indians navigate. And interestingly, they found that we navigate through landmarks. Remember the Century Ply shop? Go turn there, and then Big Bazaar will come, and then take a little bit, go further, you will see Alsur Lake, and you will reach your destination. Landmark level, okay? But Google also found out that there is necessity for both landmark driven directions as well as street level, direction level navigation. So today, when you see navigation in India, it is landmark and direction level navigation. So here, you see the AI solution was already there, but in order to make it consumable, in order to make it local, there was UX involved and crafted. Okay? Make sense? We'll move on to the next one.
So the next portion is AI for UX. I see this as 2 sides of the coin, right? The yin and yang of what she explained. So what this is how can you effectively use artificial intelligence in user experience? So how can you use AI for the betterment of human in his journey? Okay. I can explain this better with an example. So Gmail Smart Compose. How many of you do not like to type? I'm definitely one of them. As the world gets smaller, we are required to communicate via email much more than before. And if you're like me, who did not like to type or who made mistakes while typing, no, it's not great. So if you look at the user journey, right, of a Gmail user, what's the primary task? The primary task has always been email communication, right? But then there are portions of his journey which can be improved. And then this was one of the area where Google felt you could improvise. So with this feature, what it does is, by looking at the email address, the subject line, and then the context of what you are typing, it can predict, it can guess ahead of time, and then fill in your sentences. So in short, what is it doing? It is augmenting the user to be more efficient. And this is our space. At Honeywell, this is how we do it. We do AI for UX because we believe our customers and our internal users should work smarter, not harder. Before moving on into Honeywell case studies, I'd like to share the vision of Honeywell, the connected world. With large enterprises like us in the industrial sector with a wide gamut of products, hardware, software, and data, how do we connect? And then how do we improve the user experience with any emergent tech like AI or any other?
A more connected world is a more productive world. At Honeywell, we're blending physical products with software solutions to link people and businesses to the information they need to be more efficient, more productive, and more connected. In this emerging Internet of Things era, the world is moving from simple digital transactions to complex digital to physical interfaces. Half of our 23,000 engineers globally are developing software to augment our extensive technology portfolio, which includes the world's most advanced cockpits, jet engines, auxiliary power units, and turbochargers, technologies for connected homes and buildings, refining and petrochemicals process technologies and controls, mobile computing, voice-automated systems, and personal protective equipment for connected workers. Honeywell products and software provide homeowners with remote access to their thermostats, security systems, lights, window shades, and more for greater safety, energy management, and savings on their energy bills. In buildings and on campuses, our solutions integrate security, building management, and environmental controls to create safe, secure, and energy-efficient environments, and give building managers unparalleled control over their facilities. Industrial facilities such as refineries use our software-enabled process technologies and controls to optimize performance and productivity during design, construction, production, and maintenance. In the warehouse, Honeywell's complete automation solutions, software, and services are enabling smarter distribution and fulfillment operations that lower costs for retailers, manufacturers, and logistics providers. Our cloud-connected mobile worker applications and hardware solutions are used by retailers, manufacturers, and industrial operators to significantly increase worker accuracy and efficiency. With the use of Honeywell sensors and software, our gas detection devices and array of personal protective equipment are connecting workers to monitor their environment, health, and equipment, all of which provides higher levels of safety and compliance for workers and facility managers. And Honeywell innovations and advanced materials protect the police officers, firefighters, and soldiers who protect us. Our satellite communications technology provides high-speed Wi-Fi to air travelers around the world, allowing them to connect while flying as easily as they do on the ground. Honeywell technologies enable flights that are shorter, safer, and use less fuel. Our next-generation flight management systems enhance flight planning, navigation, and situational awareness, while Honeywell maintenance apps and wireless web-based systems analyze and troubleshoot operating data to enable faster return to service. Our flight safety systems increase visibility in and around airports, providing sound and visual warnings during taxi, takeoff, and landing to increase pilot awareness and reduce the risk of accidents. We're leveraging our considerable aerospace legacy and expertise on the highway with turbochargers that meet increasingly stringent global CO2 emission standards and improve fuel economy by 20 to 40%, while enabling a 4-cylinder engine to perform like a 6-cylinder engine. From the home to the factory, in the air and on the ground, Honeywell's product and software solutions are focused on what's important, providing a cleaner, more sustainable, more secure, connected, energy efficient, and productive world.
So, you saw there are a lot of use cases where Honeywell is working towards making a connected world. Today, we are going to share 2 case studies where design and artificial intelligence works together to create a solution which was effective and helped our Honeywell customers and Honeywell employees. To begin with, I'll show you a case study from IT. Okay? Before I do that, just raise your hands if this resonates. Okay? You have done a great design or you have worked on a great document, you forgot to save it, you're almost there, and your laptop crashes. Has this happened before? Excellent. Another scenario, okay? You have to attend an important meeting, you are already 2 minutes late, you switch on your laptop, and it decides to configure. Happened? Wonderful, okay? And you got a new system, you're all excited in your new job, and the day you got it, they said, your operating system needs to be reconfigured. Happened? Not many, but okay. IT is like a lighthouse, you know, it needs to keep the company's light on so that the company runs effectively and smoothly. In order to do that, we need to make sure that we detect anomalies, troubleshoot ideas, and make sure the employees have a seamless experience during upgrade, troubleshooting, or maintenance. Okay? Now, we can start with the technology, but what if we looked at the end-to-end journey of a Honeywell or any company's employee? Starts with the day they join the company, the onboarding, and it ends on the day they exit. That's the whole journey of an employee, right? Instead of looking at in silos, how about we look at the context that they face during this whole journey? Remote access, some issues with the performance, some persistent issues, or bandwidth constraints. They might be traveling, they are at a different place. There are so many contexts. So in order to solve this problem, how designers worked with the data scientists is, we worked with the data scientists while they were installing a device in each of our devices to collect metrics. We were helping them to identify where there are pain points. One of our users are saying that, I don't know, but this happens, you know, whenever I'm on a Skype call and taking a call in the night around 11 o'clock, my laptop crashes. This is a pain point, right? Now the system is getting a lot of data on Skype, data on crashes, data on remote access, data on bandwidth, but to help the data scientists where to focus, our pain points comes to help. And that's exactly what we did. We made sure that the way the information was visualized to our IT support team helped them remotely identify, analyze system metrics, reduce unnecessary maintenance, and make predictions so that every assets are, every asset is more and more optimized. The other
Earlier during my introduction, I spoke about aircraft maintenance. So think of aircraft maintenance as 30 or 40 times more than your car maintenance and diagnostics. There are various departments just addressing the maintenance of an aircraft. So the problem here was a maintenance technician, once he went into the cockpit to look at faulty data, right, to capture the fault codes. Just like all of you, he would take his smartphone and then take pictures of the fault codes because you can't remember. Then swift through manuals, look through to find out what this code means, what the symptom is, and what is the type of action he has to take. So you feel that, well, aerospace should be revolutionized, but not in all areas. So you might say, Suman, the solution is simple. Just digitize all the manuals and then create a search functionality. He's going to enter that alphanumeric code, and then boom. But we did not stop there, right? The goal was to augment the maintenance engineer. So what if he was able to enter the symptom in plain English language, and then it showed the list of recommendations? So great, one step ahead. Now let's just step it up a notch ahead. What if there was an experienced maintenance guy, right? And how can we use his knowledge and then share it with the rest of the maintenance? So which means you are now allowing the machine to learn from the experienced maintenance guys as he enters these symptoms and as he selects the top recommendations. So the machine keeps on and on and on improving to display the top recommendations. So think about it, right? The idle time of an aircraft, right? In the idle time means a loss in dollars, loss in revenues. So what we did was we augmented the intelligence of a maintainer to work smarter, not harder, not to take a longer time. I think this is just what I explained about reprioritizing the recommendations and using AI technology to come up with a system.
Now, we often get challenged with, should we start with technology or should we start with something else? In Honeywell, we believe that we should start with users. Identify who the users are, what are their goals, and then once we know what are the opportunities that we want to address, figure out what technology can we use. Now, just because there is a technology doesn't mean you just go about and take it, right? You need to also find out whether applying this technology at this point for this context, is it viable for the business? Is it cost effective? Is it going to have a good ROI? So essentially we are talking about three-legged stool to make our products more stable.
If you find yourselves ever at the crossroad of AI and UX, how do you go about? This is how we go about at Honeywell. So I'm going to ask all of you to step back, right? Zoom out and not think about graphical elements because that's not what I'm here to talk about, or aesthetics, or wireframes, or how do you go about this? Because I know all of you rock at it. So just step back and try to look at the journey of the user holistically. So customer journey map is nothing but an illustration of the end-to-end journey, all the interactions among various users, and along this, we begin to capture what their activities are. And as you notice their activities, you also realize pain points, which means you can fix something. So those are your area of opportunities. So in large enterprises, the journey continues, right? But then we are looking for places where we can augment the human. Where can we make it better? So during this situation, right, for the aero example, we could have also used AR technology, right? We had AI, we had AR, we had VR, we had all the technologies ready, but it's not about technology first, right? It's about user first. Had we launched something else, then that technology would have failed miserably because it's so dark in the cockpit, and then wearing AR for such a long time wouldn't have helped. So it's necessary for you to capture the end-to-end journey and then think about what the problem is. If you know the problem, like what Steve said, right? Why, like ask the question so many times that you understand the solution. So the first step, right, the key takeaway is identify the purpose. What is the higher purpose? Frame the problem so well that later on your solution is firm. It's not like the pitfall.
once we have identified the problem, the next part is the context. Remember, these contexts are the scenarios, the pain areas, the opportunities. Now, we often look at these in isolation. For IT support, one crash, one system maintenance, one troubleshooting, they are in isolation. But if we identify all this context, till this part it is all normal user experience design. How do you leverage AI? Here, we want to talk about context chaining. What it means is, now that you have all these opportunities, look at where there is data available. Work with a data scientist and see, can we connect this? Is there a relationship available between a data crash, between a system's installation date versus when it was bought, what was the purchase date? Is there a relationship? Find new opportunities and build solutions around it. That's how you work with AI and design for human beings.
The fourth one is to build trust, right? With any emergent technology, there is an issue with trust, because like the pitfalls video with the dental problem, well, after that you realize that, well, the human has no control, the machine just took over. So therefore, the end-to-end journey comes into place, because in Aero, you cannot make mistakes. You cannot afford to do anything like that with so many mandates in place. So you'll have to look at all the scenarios, various scenarios of the entry and then the exit points, so that you are building a system, right, with a fail-safe. I think UX and AI should converge to augment the human. You have it right now, right? AI exists in your pocket. It's not all that alien. It is how you use it, how much you use it, right? And how efficiently you use it to augment the human being. It's not sci-fi. It's definitely there. It is staying, and it's going to touch your lives much more than ever. So as a user experience designer, what is your role? What is your responsibility?
So, if I may just reiterate what we said, there are 4 points that we talk about, 4 key takeaways. So, I would like you to repeat with me so that when you leave this room, you have this in your mind, okay? Number 1 is rephrase your problem. Identify what are the problem. Can you please repeat with me? Identify the problem. Thank you. The next one is find context. Okay? The third one, this is the power of AI. Create context chaining. Finally, build trust. And if, come on. Well, if you do these 4, AI and UX will live happily ever after. Thank you all.
Thank you.